Hi, welcome back to Fina Whispers. And today I'm so excited because we have finished the SDG Goal No.1 shoot, and we are going to look at how organizations and different companies and even myself are working towards eradicating poverty. We're also going to see a personal SWOT analysis where you have to understand your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, and also your threats. And for this, I'm going to take you through a very short but very quick understanding of it. And this is something that you can apply to goals or your daily life just to evaluate how you are doing. You remember that 5-year goal that you said, in 5 years, I want to be this, etc. We're gonna go through that. So come on in. I would like to see your comments down below, and I'm so excited that you are part of this video. To understand this SDG goal, we have to understand the types of poverty. Situational poverty is caused by a sudden crisis or loss and is often temporary. Events causing situational poverty include environmental disasters, divorce, or severe health problems. Generational poverty occurs in families where at least 2 generations have been born into poverty. Families living in this type of poverty are not equipped with the tools to move out of this situation. Absolute poverty, which is rare, involves a scarcity of such necessities as shelter, running water, and food. Families who live in absolute poverty tend to focus on day-to-day survival. Relative poverty refers to economic status of a family whose income is insufficient to meet its society's average standard of living. Urban poverty occurs in metropolitan areas with populations of at least 50,000 people. The urban poor deal with a complex aggregate of chronic and acute stresses including crowding, violence, and noise, and are dependent on often inadequate large city services. Rural poverty occurs in non-metropolitan areas with populations below 50,000. In rural areas, there are more than single guardian houses, and families often less access to services, support for disabilities, and quality of education opportunities. These are the effective ways of reducing poverty. First, develop and implement a rapid and sustainable economic growth policies and programs in areas such as health, education, nutrition, and sanitation, allowing the poor to participate and contribute to the growth. Second, improve management of water and other natural resources. Most of the rural resource poor depend on agriculture or other natural resources for their livelihood. Consequently, it is necessary that they have more equitable access to these resources so they can better manage their resources. Invest in and implement agricultural programs. Encourage countries to engage in trade as a path out of poverty. Trade is the key growth to and prosperity to most of the poorest countries. As you can see, some countries such as Botswana and Brazil have traded their way out of poverty. Create and improve access to jobs and income and develop entrepreneurial talent. Providing all people with access to social services including education, healthcare, adequate food, sanitation, shelter, and clean water. Progressively developing social protection systems to support those who cannot support themselves. Empower people living in poverty by involving them in the development and implementation of plans and programs to reduce and eradicate poverty. The involvement ensures that programs reflect those things that are important to them. Remove barriers to equal access to resources and services. Provide access to technology and innovation, including internet access and affordable energy. In Rotary, we have similar goals of a better, safer, and more peaceful world. Rotary is dedicated to the 6 areas of focus to build international relationships, improve lives, and create a better world to support peace efforts. They are building peace and preventing conflict, disease prevention and treatment, water sanitation, maternal and child health, basic education and literacy, and economic and community development. Malezi Technical Education Program. It's not where we are that matters, what matters is where we are going. MTEP is a tech program that is run for the Malezi community, where they teach primary students about computer skills, which help them gain knowledge in the same and also opens up the ideas to entrepreneurship opportunities. This also has other drives such as the food drive, which is being led by Lane Mahone and in support by myself, Father John of St. Patrick's, and other givers from abroad. So we'll begin with the SWOT analysis. So what is SWOT analysis? As you can see there, SWOT analysis is the examination of your organization or situation by looking at your strengths, your weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And it's very, very useful for identifying areas for personal development or areas that you feel that you should work on. And the strength areas are actually areas where you have an advantage over others. And this can be your level of education, your training, your knowledge in jobs, or your experience that you have gained over the years from doing various assignments. And then your weaknesses are areas where you may find that others or yourself can do much better. And things like this is maybe if you have bad personal characteristics, or you don't like interacting with people, maybe lack of networking capabilities. There are things that you can look into working on from a mentor's perspective, getting a mentor to help you in that, or even doing online courses that will assist you in working on that area. Then we also have opportunities, which are possibilities that you can take advantage of to help you achieve your goals or ambitions. And what are these opportunities? For example, you can see that I could take an opportunity of getting better education for like studying a master's in telecommunications or engineering, or I could take the opportunity of enhancing my skills by looking for a mentor who is sectioned on helping me get my networking capabilities on the right track. So that's just some examples of opportunities that you can use or work on, and you can identify this in your particular fields. And then the threats. What are threats? So these are things that might prevent you from achieving your goals. And threats are things like you don't have enough finances to, get onto that education, or you have so much competition in your particular field that you cannot get to, experience or, get to apply that knowledge that you have. And some of these things is now you have to identify, how do I work around that? How do I make sure that my threats can work around and become my strengths? Okay. And to do this, we have always to follow a process. And as I've listed over here, you can see the process is we always start with identification. Identify the goal you want to achieve first. What do you want to be in that 5 years? What do you want to do in this 3 months, 1 month, etc.? Identify that goal. And then after identifying that goal, identify the personal strengths that will help you achieve it and the weaknesses that could prevent you. So, for example, if I'm looking for a job in the social sector or social work, and I know that there's so many people already in that work, there's a massive competition in that area. What will I do? I'll identify that I want to be a social worker in the next 3 months or 6 months. And I'll say, now, what are my personal strengths from this? One of it is networking. Another one is what is my circle of influence. And my circle of influence now will include companies where I can do volunteering work, or places that I can actively do social work to assist people in that. Okay. And then what weaknesses could prevent me from this is the weakness of putting myself down, saying that, oh, I've studied, I have a degree in I don't know, social work, and I cannot go and do volunteering work in, let's say, Kibera, because maybe that is not where I want to start from. That's one of the weakness, putting yourself down or looking at other places and saying that is not where I want to be. You always have to make sure that you start from somewhere and be humble enough to apply your skills, especially to benefit people and change the lives of people. And then the third thing is identify any personal opportunities that will enable you to take advantage of when you have achieved it. So these opportunities could be now those volunteering work that you can do, or just getting or looking out of your scope of mind and saying, in my area, what is the thing that I can do that can help maybe the society, And then the last two things is identify any threats that you have, and also review and prioritize. It's very, very important to always review your goal and prioritize to what you'd like to be in 5 years' time, in 6 years' time, etc. And to review, you always have to ensure that you it's called like stock taking in quotes. So you have to check, what did I do right the last time, what am I going to do right the next time, or what did I do wrong, and who did I meet, or who did I influence, or etc. And after that process, I'd like to leave you with a quote. And this quote says, the trouble with not having a goal is that you can spend your life running up and down the field and never score. Goals give our lives meaning. That is from Bill Copeland. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I hope this has been such an impactful session, and I'm looking forward to your comments. For the month of November, we're going to be focusing on SDG Goal number 15, which is Live on Land, and I'm so excited to do this goal and see what are the various options that we have, especially now that we are only on land. So I'm looking forward to your comments, your questions. Please subscribe down below, and if you have any ideas for photography shoot, etc., please get in touch with me, and we should also tune in for the next session, especially on personal building, personal branding, anything that we can talk about that is very, very important, tagging into this SDGs. Thank you very much, and looking forward to your comments.